Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, and welcome back Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley as always.
Hello everybody.
How was vacation?
Too fast.
Too fast?
Way too fast. Yeah, it was a week, but it's still just such a blur.
Such a blur?
Not like I was drunk or anything. I wasn't. No, it was just I was on the beach the whole time. It was just, it happened really fast.
Right. Good. Good for you.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do a show without you.
Appreciate that.
So, plus there really wasn't that much to talk about.
Yeah, no. It was
kind of dead in the news a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of little stuff that's been happening is if you frequent StarWars.com as much as I do, I mean there's a lot of little toy related things and
unveiling some toys.
Yeah,
and everything. A lot of rumors on other sites.
Yes,
spoilers and speculation as always. But
yeah, one big rumor we'll talk about a little extensively. Really nothing on the episode 7 front right now.
And I think because we're recording this Thursday night, tomorrow Mission Impossible comes out, and there was like an embargo on like publicity and like talking about Rogue One because of that, because they share similar titles, Rogue Nation, Rogue One.
Yeah,
they made like a little deal.
Really?
So it was like after Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation comes out, we'll be seeing more stuff about Rogue One. So soon we'll be getting more stuff. We've been getting little bits here and there, but like more like official publicity.
Yeah, is Rogue One even started filming yet?
No, a little soon though.
I think it is soon.
Yeah, but I think D23 will probably get some stuff about that.
Yeah, I wish they would officially release that little teaser.
Yeah,
man, that thing.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah,
come on,
that thing is awesome. So, let's. I don't know. Since there's not that much to say about Episode 7. I will say this, though. I guess the one thing, well, that's probably in another part of the news, the book news. So let's.
Yeah.
Is there anything we want to talk about in Episode 7 stuff?
Not much. I mean, there's stuff about supposed leaks of like the plot of the film. I didn't read it. You did. You said there's not much shock and awe about it.
Yeah, I did read it, and I did think twice about reading it because I didn't want to be. But it read like
the back of a DVD kind of
correct
thing.
Yeah, very much so. And maybe the insert, a little bit longer, but it described kind of what happens in the movie without giving away secrets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah. Because I was worried about saying like revealing some twist or whatever. That's why I didn't read it.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you though, it did hint at some, but it was ones that we've kind of heard already.
Yeah.
But like I said to you earlier, the one thing, and I don't want to spoil it, I guess, if you think it, but the thing about it might not even be true.
Yeah.
But the one thing that threw me off was hardly any mention of Luke Skywalker. I mean, there's almost just like a couple references. And it was all really mainly about Han, which is what we had always heard, that Harrison Ford is the star of this movie. And you get introduced to Ridley and Boyega, and those are the ones that are going to carry this thing the next, the trilogy. So it was cool. It kind of, again, it just kind of told the story of the what's going on in Jakku, and where, and according to this, again, not really. Very similar to, I guess, episode 4 in a sense, where there's not, according to this, and I don't know how much it's missing or if it's just not revealing too much, but very, like, we're only talking like two or three locations, and that's it.
Like what it mentioned in the thing, really?
Like it mentioned what planet. Obviously, it mentioned Jakku.
Right.
It mentioned what planet we see those X-wings on.
It does?
Yes.
What does it say? Is it a spoiler? Is it something I don't want to know?
It's something that it's something that we've talked about.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
Let's just go.
Okay.
It's all right.
I mean,
if you want to read it, guys, it's out there for you. Go read it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, everybody kind of knows what it is, but it's that. So,
okay.
But again, I don't know if it's that. I mean,
right.
Anyway, and it kind of mentions, but it doesn't even mention like where Luke is or where possibly he is. I don't know. So anyway, so yeah, that's, if you want to read kind of this, synopsis, I guess, of the movie, then it's out there, and it may not be right. I don't know. It's just rumored, so who knows? But so what else? That's really it as far as the movie goes.
Yeah, that's it. If you want some potential spoilers, super spoilers and rumors, they're out there for you.
Yeah, and then really nothing set on the there really nothing set on the Rebels front either. Hopefully you guys are still watching the basically the season 2 movie event, the Siege of Lothal. The regular season will start sometime in September, I think. I don't think they've actually had a release date yet, full release date, but I'm sure it's going to be early September or mid-September. So again, nothing really new to speculate there on Rebels front. We do have a couple comics that we'll review here in a second, but namely Star Wars number 7, which came out this week, and last week Kanan number 4 came out. So we'll talk about those. But the one thing I did want to talk about was I don't know if you did. I remember I texted you about it. I don't know if you read it, but the excerpt in Star Wars Aftermath.
Right. I read a little bit of it, but not the whole thing. No.
Man, I got chills when I read that.
Cool.
So did you get where it picked up from?
It's really quick after.
It's
right?
The celebration after the Death Star gets destroyed.
And it's about Wedge, right?
Yes, it's mainly but that's the thing about was it Comic-Con? Yeah, it was Comic-Con. It got released that we're getting a trilogy. Mm-hmm. It's not just Aftermath.
Right.
The writer of the book is writing a trilogy of it. But if you go to StarWars.com and search for it, there's an excerpt of the book, and it's the very beginning. I think it's either the epilogue or it's the first chapter. Mm-hmm. Not epilogue, prologue, or the first chapter.
The end of the book.
Yeah, the end of the book. But no, it basically starts with it literally right after the Death Star was destroyed, and it was confirmed that Vader and Palpatine were on it, even though Vader wasn't. He was taken off. But Akbar releases. It's like you read a speech from Akbar talking about the Republic is over and all this. And what's crazy to think though, and this is why all of these things that are coming out, all of these things like these books, these comics, it's truly, and I don't think there's any way of stopping this, but it's truly changing the way you view these characters in the movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Truly. And not just that, but now, I know when you see episode 7, when we see episode 7, it's you're gonna obviously feel that gap between 6 and 7. But there was always that question of, well, it's 30 years later. Surely the war's over.
Yeah.
But according to this book, which is canon, right after Akbar gets that speech, and in episode 6, and this is a special edition scene, right? You see the celebrations around the galaxy.
Yeah.
You see, ever since after the prequels came out, he added, you see celebrations from Naboo.
Yeah.
You see celebrations from Tatooine, Bespin, and Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this excerpt, it's the beginning of this book, which starts out with a father and a son that are in Imperial Plaza.
Sweet.
At the celebration.
Yeah.
They're like watching, they're witnessing the statue.
Yeah. Awesome.
Them wrapping up the statue, right? So that shot in the movie.
Yeah.
Where it pans
those
up.
Characters are
these characters in there watching the statue get pulled down. So the father and son. Now, what's crazy is what happens. You think, again, after the 6, you're like, we cut back to the Endor party where they're all right. But when we cut away from Coruscant, this is where this
Something
book
happens.
Oh, it's freaking crazy what happens. Now, it's so crazy, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, right when the Emperor thinks apparently the Imperial Police, like there's Imperial Police, not just the stormtroopers or anything like that, there's Imperial Police. Well, they're apparently flying in, like, if you remember, I hate to say it, but the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
That cop that's following the kid, like that's the way it looked like they described it. Like there's these police officers in these hovering machines, these ships, little ships, and they're on intercom warning the crowd, like, stop, but they're still actually with the Empire, right? So even though the Death Star has been destroyed, I think that's the central theme that they're going to try to get in these books, is that even though the Death Star was destroyed and the Emperor was dead, the Imperial Navy was still out there, and they didn't want to give up the power. So these Imperial Police are like, you have to stop, we're warning you, blah, blah, blah. Well, they just open fire on the crowd. They start shooting all these people, and and it's from the guy's perspective, the father. So he's grabbing his son and running, and he's talking how, maybe the war is just beginning.
Oh my gosh!
It's like, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So, that's cool. I mean, but again, when you watch episode 6 now and you see the statue come down, and you're like, wait a minute.
Keep it there because something's about to happen.
Yeah, man. So I just thought that was so awesome. I can't wait to read that book. I really, I've bought all the books and I haven't been able to sit down and read them, but I truly want to start reading that as soon as I get that. Because I feel a little bit more connected to, I don't know, I'm a huge fan of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost one of my, I would almost consider maybe Return of the Jedi being my favorite.
Yeah.
Even though Empire Strikes Back is by far the best of the 6.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you see it. Do you remember a book called The Truce at Bakura or something like that?
Bakura? Yeah, I never read it, but yeah.
Now that book happens immediately after, during the Endor celebration.
So it's done.
It's gone. Because I remember thinking, how cool is that? Because in that book, at the celebration, they get a call from Akbar or somebody, I think, saying, hey, there's a battle still out here that we need help with.
Yeah.
And Luke and Han and Leia, they go get and then go out and start fighting. So, and that's when the expanded universe takes off after episode 6, right? So I thought that was always cool. Like, oh, this is right after the movie, this is, but now that's not right after the movie.
This just bumped it out and took its place.
Yeah. But again, what's weird about Aftermath, I guess, is that it's not, I guess the main crew is the main cast is in there, but it's mainly about Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
So
this team of.
Well, at first he's on his own.
Yeah,
at first he's like on his own. But what it does have, which I thought was a cool connection, is Wedge comes across because it's right. After you read the Coruscant thing, it goes right into the Wedge story. But he comes across. He's like traveling on his own somehow. He gets and he's. I think he's checking up on a system whether or not the Empire is left or something like that. But he shows up anyway. A Star Destroyer shows up, and the admiral, or I guess it's the captain, maybe the captain of that ship, is the same woman that is in A New Dawn. That is going after. There's an
imperial woman. Yes.
Imperial woman.
Yeah.
So she is now the captain of that ship in Aftermath. So it's the same character, which is pretty neat. So anyway, I just thought I had to share that. I'm sure most of you have probably read it or know what I'm talking about, but I was really, really excited about that. So I will be getting that. That comes out 1st of September, I think. Mm-hmm. Part of the journey to Force Awakens.
Very cool, man.
That kicks off. But anyway, let's talk about comics real fast.
Yep.
Let's start with Kanan last week. What did you think of Kanan number 4?
Liked it. It was good because the 3 left off with such a cool little cliffhanger. This just picks right up, and it's really. Every issue is just so interesting because I've always, ever since Rebels started, been really mostly interested in Kanan and Ezra, and finally getting some backstory about Kanan. And there's nothing else I can really say besides it's so interesting to see how this Jedi Padawan is having to turn his whole life around and forego his Jedi ways, that kind of thing. Similar things are happening in Star Wars 7, with Obi-Wan, but it's just so crazy because he's a kid and it's just dealing with all this crap and all this stuff. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, I feel like, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but I feel like there's all kinds of. I feel like we're going to see a lot of these kinds of stories
of like these Jedis
of surviving Jedi.
Yeah.
At first it was always kind of understood maybe that Obi-Wan and Yoda were the only survivors. Mm-hmm. You in the expanded universe you got possibly a thought of it whenever you played like Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
But in the movie universe it was always like, oh well, Yoda, and because once Yoda died, the last of the Jedi will you be, right? Yeah. Luke was it. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
So
some could be just hiding like what Kanan did, or a lot of them were probably killed. If I just found out, some are probably hiding but found out. It's also interesting because these stormtroopers are hunting for them. Well, stormtroopers, they're clones. But it's not too much later after Clone Wars that they're still clones.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see if
this is still just a few months after Order 66. So,
and I was trying to see if one of the clones with the scar on his face, if I like recognized them from like the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was like, is that Commander Cody or something like that? But no.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so like you said at the end of the last one, he was kind of getting turned over by his new partner, and but everything kind of takes another twist on it. So it's very good. I like where this was going. I like very good. What I do like most about it is I like his dialogue, his
inner dialogue.
Yeah, his inner dialogue.
I like how he keeps talking about Master Balaba.
Yes.
What would she think of me? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very good. It's very good. He makes a tough decision at the end of this one, and but it's a very good story. It's a pretty big cliffhanger at the end too. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep you up to date on that one. But the big story, I think, is the big book that came out, Star Wars number 7, just the other day. Great cover. It's a cover of Obi-Wan, so it kind of tells you. I love the first page where it describes from the journals of old Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
The last of his breed. This is what the book is about. It's while searching for answers in his quest to become a Jedi, Luke Skywalker has uncovered a journal written by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, a journal that Kenobi specifically left behind for Luke to find. The journal details Kenobi's adventures during the time he was in hiding on Tatooine. What follows is an excerpt from that journal. So, very, very smart. What'd you feel? What'd you think about 7 here?
Super cool. I've been hearing about this issue. I was reading the previews and all that, and just finally. I mean, we had that one book about Obi-Wan in exile, but this is like canon, so it's all real. It's like finally getting some real story about Obi-Wan during his time on Tatooine. I loved seeing, once again, the inner dialogue of Obi-Wan talking about Qui-Gon.
Yes.
All that stuff, referencing a lot of stuff that happened in the prequels. Seeing his relationship with Owen, kind of, talking about how he wants to train Luke. He should be training Luke, but can't because of Owen. And just seeing the interactions and getting a glimpse of little Luke. How a little brave
it's
little
crazy.
Luke. And then finding those, I guess they're weak ways. I guess it looks like he's coming up against them or something like that. But
but unfortunately, it doesn't really tell you how old Luke is, like where this happens. I mean, he looks like probably 10 years old or something like that.
A little younger than that.
Maybe 8 or 9, or something like that. But yeah, fantastic. I love the art in it. This comes at I think at a timely fashion because I really think that they're, at least part of me definitely hopes so, but I really think they're trying to get a Kenobi film series or just a film or hell, maybe it's one of the television series they're talking about. I don't know.
Oh, a miniseries, that would be. I'd rather want that, honestly.
Huh?
I probably would rather. Want that.
I think I do too, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I think I feel like I wasn't always that huge of a fan of Obi-Wan's of the character, even though it's like he's very vital to the storyline. But I've become more and more interested in, especially the time between 3 and 4. Like, how do you spend 19 years just?
I can't imagine
wandering around.
And Obi-Wan's even saying it in the comic where like each day is blurring within each other. You can't distinguish it. It's just look, what is he doing with his life? He's doing nothing. Literally just sitting in his hut, wandering and doing nothing. He doesn't have a job or anything like this. He's just watching out through Anakin, really. But
Luke,
sorry. They look alike. I get them confused.
Yeah. But very cool. Very cool. This Star Wars issues are just phenomenal. But yeah, if you get a chance to read that. And I feel like this might pop up every once in a while. This journal thing.
Cool. Yeah.
So very good issues there. Next week, Darth Vader number 8 will be out, so we'll talk about that. But the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this was the rumor that that Netflix is going to be airing some original programming, original shows, live action shows of Star Wars. Now, everybody, if you known or not known or listened to us, but we talked about the deal that was struck between Lucasfilm or between Disney and Netflix. Netflix will be their exclusive provider and distributor for original content. I think starting in 2016. So there's always been rumblings of a live action show. I mean, George Lucas had confirmed it years ago that they had like 50 scripts and plenty of stuff shot, but not enough money to finish it. So it never happened. So this is a chance to do it now. I mean, you're doing everything else. You're doing movies, TV. You're doing animation television right now, but what? So the question is though, what story or stories would you want to see in a live now?
Yeah.
Now I guess there is a difference. For one, let's start that question. Do you want to see it like, let's say, Arrow, where it's 22 episodes, or do you want to see it like, like Game of Thrones, where it's only like 10 a season?
Well, I mean, of course, I want as much Star Wars as possible, but I don't mean, I watch some Netflix shows. I watch House of Cards. I watched Daredevil.
Yeah.
I'm trying to start watching some other Netflix shows that are out there. They're all pretty much the 13 episode series. I mean, I like it. I mean, I wish I was so intrigued with Daredevil. Like, I wanted more after it was over in 13 episodes.
Right.
But like House of Cards, like I feel like I've got enough from it for being like an hour long, 13 episode kind of thing. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that format if it's 13 episodes. If it's 22, as long as all the episodes, like Arrow, like each episode's pretty much, at least the first 2 seasons of Arrow, like every episode's pretty much pertinent to the main story, the main arc. There's no like throwaway episodes. Then I'm cool with the 22 episode type of thing. But 13, I feel like is such a good length of a season to get all the meat in there, no fluff, and just get the story out there. But this article says that there's rumors that they'll be doing 3 live action shows for Netflix.
3.
Potentially 3 live action, which is that's phenomenal. But like what I would like to see. So yeah, I would like to see the 13 episode probably. That seems just a good link. Yeah. But and I didn't even think about Obi-Wan until just now. So that would be really cool. Ewan McGregor would do it.
Ewan McGregor would do it.
I feel like more big actors like that are doing these miniseries, like True Detective. Like these big actors are doing these kind of miniseries type things.
Oscar winners.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. And so Obi-Wan's show would be so cool. A bounty hunter show. I think that's what everybody's been wanting forever. That's what's been talked about forever. So I'm kind of expecting it at this point. So some bounty hunter show. Doesn't have to be Boba Fett. Although it would be cool, but I don't know if it should be Boba Fett. I think it should just be like an underworld type thing with like what they were talking about. Just like the 1313 type thing. Just, the underbelly of Coruscant. That would feel very much like a Daredevil type of thing. I want to see probably one, like we talked about, some Jedis after Order 66. I guess all 3 shows would be taking place pretty much within the expanse of 3 and 4. Filling that gap.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we got something after Episode 6, kind of, or maybe even an old Republic kind of a thing. But I think 3 shows set in between 3 and 4, so they can even relate, intertwine with each other.
And that's what it sounds like they want to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Daredevil, the Defenders model that they've created. It's create a television universe that. Now, let me ask you this though: how would you feel about? Do you think this would work? Like, just doing a drama show in the Star Wars universe, and what I mean by that is introducing all new characters.
Yeah.
Let's just say you focus on a family that lives on
1313 thing,
a normal show that has all the problems of life, but
sitcom
set in the Star Wars universe. I mean, would something like that?
If the story's there, it'll sell. I mean, I think for something like that, I don't want it to just be a normal story in Star Wars and just be like, oh, it's in the Star Wars universe, using that as like a gimmick to get ratings. I think if it's in the Star Wars universe, it has to be in the Star Wars universe for a reason. So I think if it's in the Star Wars universe, you have to relate it to either the events that have happened in Star Wars or the Force, Empire, or bounty hunters, or something. Some big element of Star Wars has to tie into the story somehow. I feel like it can't just so happen to take place in Star Wars universe.
Right.
I don't know, but that I like that idea. Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I really want Ewan McGregor to do an Obi-Wan. I think that would work better as a show. than a movie.
A trilogy of movies.
Yes. Yeah. I think his adventures or his things, living and protecting Luke. And
each season could be like a certain, like fighting the Tusken Raiders the first season, fighting the Hutts in the second season, protecting Luke in the third season.
Yeah, and then like you can run across stormtroopers that are hunting him down, and all kinds of this.
We could see a little Luke. We could actually cast. I would be okay with casting like a adolescent Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Yes.
So cool.
Very cool. And I'm over kind of not over, but I guess I would rather see a movie with the bounty hunters, which I think we are getting with Rogue One in a sense, right? I'd rather do that, and that's what kind of makes me feel like that idea didn't go forward anymore because of the anthology movies now. But yeah, I think the other thing is what I was hinting at with the Kanan storyline is I think you can do all kinds of Jedi that survived Order 66 and how they're living and how they're trying to adapt, and with the Empire right behind them, so just so many of those stories you can do. So many Jedi stories, so many what was the
Obi-Wan?
The Obi-Wan stories, what he's doing. I mean, it's just that's what I would be talking about.
Yeah.
That, if we were at Lucasfilm, I mean, that would be the stories that I think you go for.
You could do a police drama, but like Imperial Police.
Yeah.
But the guy's an ex-Jedi trying to go, I don't know, gotta be crazy. It'd be a good twist.
Yeah, because I always found the story with the Imperials imprisoning the Wookiees. Yeah. You can come across Chewbacca and all that stuff, so.
And just show an Imperial that doesn't really believe in it, but he's a part of it. I don't know. That, simple stories like that.
Again, there's all kinds. Yeah, there's all kinds. So
just let us write it.
Yeah. Just put us in charge of television production. We'll be fine.
I've got ideas.
Yeah. Got ideas. All right. What else we got? I think that's we're gonna do a little canon.
Yeah. And I was flipping through here in the Ultimate Star Wars
book. Yeah.
Book here. The next on our list. So we did. Again, it's been a while, so I was trying to think. We did Tatooine last, right? Was that right?
I think so.
And then, so the next category would be technology. First technology we did was the battle droid. The second one is actually image caster. It's like their hologram device.
Oh, really?
So there's not much to talk about it, really. It's like a short little blurb. But, I mean, it just made me think, though, and maybe it's in that Science of Star Wars documentary, but, like, I want to know the technology behind this, because that also is just really cool. How does it record, that kind of thing? Like, how does it record video? But basically, the book just talks about the image caster, and actually mentions its appearances. Its appearances of the image caster. Now, this is like, think of the scene in Episode 1 where Qui-Gon is bartering with Watto about, like, the pod racing stuff. Like, he said, like, I'll use, like, my ship as collateral for the pod racing. He holds out that little disc, and it has the hologram of the Naboo, of Amidala's ship. That's an image caster. So it appears in Episode 1, Clone Wars, and Episode 3. Its manufacturer is the Sorosub Corporation. Model is a Sorosub image caster, and the type is a personal holoprojector, if you wanted to know. And it just has basically self-explanatory description of what it is and what it does, kind of thing. Its holograms are produced by light beams. So if you were curious at how it projects holograms, it's through light. And it also is a funny little piece of information. It can hold up to 100 minutes of images. So there you go.
Oh.
It's got an actual little hard drive in there, I guess.
It's got a limit.
It's got a little limit.
I didn't think there were any limits in Star Wars.
10 megabytes of space there. I don't know. No, that's not true. So yeah, there's the image caster.
Image caster.
Image caster. And it actually reminded me, later on, it talks about comlink. Because it reminded me of, like, some of the toys that came out during this time when episode 1 came out, and I had a comic toy. I had all these. It was so cool.
So cool.
So awesome. Image caster.
All right, everyone. That'll do it for us Inside the Force. Go to InsideTheForce.com to listen to all the podcasts that we've put out. All 107 episodes are right there for you to stream. If you want to subscribe, go to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio and search Inside the Force. We're right there. Or, like I said, on our website, all the shows are right there. RSS feeds is there, too. So subscribe if you can. Get us every week as we talk Star Wars. At Star Wars Inside, at Inside the Force on Twitter and Inside the Force on Facebook. So come and join our community.
Join us.
Or die.
Whoa.
All right. I'm DCottingham21 on Twitter. He is Kryptonian1138. And he is Casey Cooley.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. There you go.
Yeah, little Obi-Wan.
A little homage, because we've been talking about him so much.
Yeah. He did so well with that character.
Love it.
Ewan McGregor is
and all
not
across the
getting
board.
enough. Yeah.
All across the fans love Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
Even if it's a prequel, it's just that's one thing we all can agree on.
Mullet and all.
Yes, so good.
Well, we are for you Star Wars fans that I don't know, maybe are into the game. We are headed to Gen Con this weekend.
Come find us.
Come find us.
Battle us.
I know, some of you I know from or listen to us on Inside or on Star Wars TCG. So we are going to go up and play a little tourney and kind of hang out with some geek gamers up there. Hey,
yeah,
we're geek gamers, so we're gonna do what we can, and it's gonna be fun. We might have to waste some time. We might even do a show on the road or something like that.
Yeah, or play some games on the road.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So we appreciate you guys listening. Again, thanks for following us and keeping up with us every week here on Inside the Force. And we'll be back next week to talk Star Wars and review Vader number 8, which has been a fantastic book as well. A very good compliment to Star Wars issues. So, all right. For Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm David Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.